Dusty. Hey wood turners, I'm Captain Eddie Castle and welcome to the shop. Today we're going to go ahead and finish out a project. I turned this piece of spalted pecan for the AAW 25 for 25 table. And I put a little insert on it, and I'll show you more about that. And I'm going to cap it with a corkscrew or a crankshaft. Now, all this is pretty nifty. I want to show you more about the piece and then how to do it. Watch. In episode number 70, I showed you how to do an offset finial. It uses an eccentric chuck. Now this makes a nice addition to a piece, and this piece happens to be a piece of spalted pecan. Now what I have done is turned an insert out of corian for the spalted pecan, and in that insert I have put in another insert, let's get it out, of African blackwood. In fact, this is actually ebony that I cut, and I've cut this insert that goes in here, and then I'm going to glue the finial on after I fine-tune a little bit of something on the insert, and that'll be a finished piece. It won't lean when I'm done with it, but you get the idea. Now let's get to making it. Let's take a second to explain ornamental or rose engine or whatever lace, ornamental lace. This cutter is a fly cutter. It's got two little blades on it. It's going to travel at about 8,000 RPMs. It's powered by a motor that's a little bit stronger than a sewing machine motor, but does the job. This is powered by a Performax sander motor down here that's variable speed reversible. And it is following a pattern back here that's got 24 bumps, or will produce 24 bumps, or 24 hills and valleys, or a combination thereof, on the piece up here. What's going to happen is this cutter is going to crank up. I'm going to move it this way on a slide vise. It's going to cut a pattern in the face of this, and that pattern is what we're going to try to do a cap to match. Got it? You didn't know you're supposed to take notes. There will be a pop quiz. Alright, now, my first move, in order for a lid to fit tight and snug, you have to have some controls. If I'd made this lid exactly the same size as this hole, it'll fall through it. So my controls is a taper. I'm going to put about a 10-degree taper on the side of the lid, right there, and on the inside, and when it drops in, it's going to fit perfectly. Or really close. So, first thing, I've got a vernier scale that I developed and drew onto mine, and I'm going to move it to 10 degrees. I happen to have a hole where my lock pin drops, and then I'll lock it down. I'm at 10. I hope I don't move it again until I'm done the whole process. You'll understand why. There's a way to do this. Now take notes. One of my first moves to make sure that everything runs right is I'm going to run the cutter on the face of this to make sure that I'm running dead center. If I'm high or I'm low, the pattern will become slightly askew or a twist. Well, top and bottom may not work together right as well as I like it to if I'm a little a twist. There's a way to adjust to make it happen, but perfect work is dead center for me. Now that running dead center, I'm going to go ahead and plow through, holding as tight to the center as I can, because I want minimum size hole in the ring. And that's, you have to start in the center and work out to get that. Okay, a couple of things to keep in mind. You want to feed the cutter really slow. I mean, just barely a 1/8 of a turn, which would be like 1/80th of an inch. So you want to feed it slow because that's hard material, that corian product. It'll break those cutters, and they're about 10 bucks a blade. Yeah, that's, okay. The next is, you don't want to go so small that the cutter actually exceeds the width of the hole, because it'll cut both sides. Then you lose your detail. Number 3, you need to go at least the depth to get the center of the cutter to go past the back of the corian, or the hole will be like this instead of straight down. This you can't work with. Well, in some cases you can, but most of the time this is better. Okay? Now that's the cut. And I'm at least past the corian in the back. I could take my other cutter, my other plug, and see how it works, and I'll be doggone. Man, I'm not close. I'm real close. I wouldn't use this, but when I take away the mahogany that I mounted to, this may go clean through. Wouldn't be a good fit. We're going to make one to fit. Now, what I'll do is get this off. I'll go over to my other lathe, hollow this out a little bit more, and get ready for the next part. You ready? I'm ready. Hey, to be totally honest, look, it fell in. Yep, just probably 1/8 of an inch too small all the way around. But that's okay. I've got enough wood in this other piece to get me the right size plug. And I do have some kind of guide as to what I want to accomplish. I need the bottom to be as big as the top of this one, because that's how it ended up. See it? So I know what my bottom needs to be right there, which is helpful. Right. After a while, you kind of get used to this. Now, back on this one. I've been reading that side of this, cutting this, and I ended up with soft round tops and deep V bottoms. Now on this piece, I have to have soft round bottoms and deep V tops. AC-doocy, right? Okay. We're going to change the stuff. What do? We move the rubber from the back side to the front side. The Sputia lathezilla, it'll work on both sides. Then, without changing the angle of my cutter, remember the angle is critical. You took that note. Okay, all right. Then we're going to have the same angle as we go up this way, so my plug is going to be tapered to go into the other piece. You got it? Keep taking notes. Okay, here we go again. I'm taking it in about a quarter turn at a time because this is softer than the corian. You can be watching TV, you'll hear the frequency change on a cutter. I'm going to let it go one full revolution. Now, I can speed it up or slow it down. I have variable speed. I can run it in reverse if I choose to. But I can be watching TV with my headset on. I will hear the... You heard it? Yeah, if the old guy quits talking, you'll hear it. But then you'll hear the frequency change, and you know it's made the cut. You turn another quarter inch, like watching grass grow. Oh, how did I figure the size? I know I'm a little bit big. I'll make this cut, check the lid, then I'll make another one. You won't believe the heart break when it's too small. Just to back the cutter away, I'm going to do a quick check. What I find is I get on there. Now, what you don't get is it'll never go in. So I have to go pop that much. Did you notice now it's going in the opposite direction? It's called the cleanup cut. If I change it, when I go the other way, I got a brand new set of blades cutting. So those are triangular blades. So instead of cutting with the top point, I'm cutting with the lower part of the point. So I get a little cleaner cut. And also, the pattern will tend to skip over the bumps if it's gone too fast. So this way, where it skipped at, it now goes back and catches. Evens things out. Hey, in a minute, we'll wrap up today's exciting program. Big conclusion, big finale coming. But first, a word from our sponsor, him. Hi, I'm Captain Eddie Castellan. Want to build your own lathezilla? I can give you the plans. All you need to do is give me $20, and I'll give that $20 to the Freedom Pens organization. That's right. Go to my website, eddiecastellan.com, and pay me $20. I'll send you PDFs of how to build your own lathezilla, including a shopping list of all the components you'll need. All that, $20, and I'll give that money to Freedom Pens. I'm Captain Eddie Castellan, and I'm having fun making shavings. How about you? Oh, now, back to the conclusion. Come on, finish up, machine. Now, we have verified that this will fit on the cutter, breakaway, poof, fit on there just right. Good, snug fit. But in making the cut on a soft ebony, we kind of messed up the stuff around the bottom. So I'm going to put a little ornamentation on it. Somebody I know calls it a surprise inside. Now what do we do? I have this part, this part. They fit very nicely, they'll work. I will end up with something very similar to what I showed you earlier. This. I'll take this, chuck it up in my other lathe, bring up a tailstock to this, trim this off and clean it up. Then I'll dome it, shape it, just like this one is, and that, put a round on it, put a shoulder on it, and it goes into the lid of a box, or a jar, a container, or I don't know. You take it from there. I'm Captain Eddie Castellan. I'm making shavings. Again, they're little bitty shavings, but they shavings. It all counts. Oh, if you want lathezilla, remember, send for the plans. I'll get them to you. No problem. Hey, bud, you worked hard today. 40 minutes. That's what it took to do that. 40 minutes. You did all right. You overheated? No, you're all right.